Hey friends, I have this adorable little bird that I found at Dollar General. It was only $1 and it's really good quality and I love the shape of it. So I took the flower off, but I am going to use that too. I tried to remove the paper and it wasn't working really well, so I just sanded over it, sanded it down. I'm going to decoupage on it so it's going to be hidden anyways. So the first thing that I do is take my Waverly Plaster paint and I gave it a good coat of paint. I actually did 3 coats of paint. I wanted to make sure that you couldn't see the design coming through the napkin that I plan to use. So I'm going to use my Mod Podge and I'm putting this on after the paint is dry. I'm just brushing on a generous coat of Mod Podge. Then I dry that and then I have this really cute napkin. It is a very pretty cursive print. I don't know what it says, but it's adorable. So I'm going to use it on my bird and I placed it where I wanted it. And I put some parchment paper over that and I'm using my little iron to just iron that on. And the napkin sticks right to the bird. It worked out wonderfully, no wrinkles or anything. And then I'm just taking my little sander and sanding around the edge and the napkin comes right off. So once I'm done with that, I took the sander and went back around the edge and cleaned it up really well. Now I'm going to use that little metal flower that I pulled off. I'm painting that with the same Waverly plaster, and I did about 3 coats of paint on it as well. The surface that I'm going to use is just a little board from Walmart. I am using Cloud Blue and I'm giving it a good coat of paint. Next, I'm going to take my Waverly plaster and I'm using my spatula and I'm just going to scrape some of that onto the surface, and this actually gave it the look of little clouds, like wispy clouds in the background, and I think that that just gave it a little bit of something extra that made the whole project look even more cute. So then I'm using my dark sealing wax and I'm going around the edge of my board. And after that, I'm going to stencil on the words "Be You." And I think that that is a cute little message and it's very important too. We are all unique, aren't we? And that is so important, to just be comfortable with who you are. And then I'm taking my little bird again and I'm going around the edges with the dark sealing wax. I love how it gives it almost like the look of burnt wood on the bird. It's so cute. I'm using Minwax finishing wax to just wax over the sign. And now I am lining up my bird where I want to glue it onto my board. This is going to make a cute shelf sitter. So I'm going back to my flower and I'm distressing my flower as well. I grabbed a little piece of rebar wire and that's going to be my flower stem. And I just glued down the flower with some hot glue. Next, I needed something to cover up the center of my flower, so I just used some jute twine and I tied a little knot and I hid the ends with some hot glue, and that works perfectly to glue down into the center of my flower. I love how that turned out. I decided that my bird needed a wing, so I'm using a little wooden heart and I'm just grubbing that up with some of the dark sealing wax and some distress ink, and then I'm just gluing on the wing. Next, I grabbed some rebar wire and I'm making some leaves for my flower, and I just bent the wire around how I needed it to be and cut it off, and that made perfect little leaves. So I just glued those down and I love how that turned out. I would love to hear your thoughts on this simple, sweet little project. Thank you for watching.